Okay, so you're here because you're looking for that next level insight.
Absolutely.
Right. Whether it's in your business coaching or athletic performance, we get it. So today we are going deep on 15 ideas that will change your life by Coach Ed Padalecki. Now, forget the surface level stuff. This is about the core principles.
Yeah.
Those actionable strategies that you can put to work and see results immediately.
Love that.
Right?
Yeah.
So our mission today is to break down these 15 ideas and deliver the most powerful takeaways specifically for you guys.
Got it.
All right. Coach P covers a lot from mindset to those daily actions, so let's jump right in.
Let's go.
So idea number 1, what do you want for yourself?
Yeah.
Now that sounds simple, right?
It does.
But Coach Padalecki emphasizes this as the starting point. A deep, honest look at what you really want, And for high performers like you guys, this goes beyond just hitting goals or, getting that promotion. It's about that deeper why, the thing that keeps you going when things get tough. Right. So what really fuels your ambition?
That's a great question. And I think what's really interesting about Coach Padalecki's approach is it's so practical. He's worked with so many high performers, and he understands that you have to start with that foundation.
Right.
And that foundation is really understanding what you want.
Makes sense.
So if we connect this to what we're talking about with high-performing business professionals, coaches, athletes, it's making sure that what you're doing every single day is moving you toward that bigger vision. Because without that clarity, your efforts might not have that lasting impact. It's about those core values.
Those deeper motivations.
Exactly. And they're going to guide you on your path. So think about your biggest wins. What was driving you?
Okay, that's a really good point. And that leads us to idea number 2, act differently than how you feel.
Oh, that's a good one.
And Coach P is very clear here as he says, feelings are not facts. And he really separates the average performers, those who let emotions control them,
right,
from the elite who understand that action creates change. So how do we apply that?
Well, I think for our listeners here, it's really about recognizing that difference between, a bad morning, a moment of self-doubt, and the reality of what you're capable of and what your goals are.
Okay.
As a high performer, I'm sure you've had times where you didn't feel like pushing through, but you did it anyway.
Absolutely.
And that's what sets you apart, that ability to take action, even when your emotions are telling you to do something else. And like Coach B says, taking action can actually change how you feel. Think about it when you're feeling unmotivated, but you start working anyway.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you get that momentum.
It shifts your mood.
Exactly. Your mood improves.
Okay, so idea number 3 is
do what you say you will do.
And Coach P says it's straight up keeping your commitments is how you build that world champion mindset.
I love that.
He even quotes Michael Phelps, you need to do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel.
That's powerful.
Right. That's a serious mantra for anyone trying to achieve big things.
It is. And I think this idea, it speaks to the idea of integrity and building trust, not just with others, but with yourself. Every time you follow through on something, no matter how big or small, it reinforces that belief in your own reliability.
You build that world champion identity.
Exactly. And I think what Coach Padalecki says about bouncing back from setbacks is crucial too. You're not going to be perfect all the time.
Of course not.
It's about having that mental toughness to adjust and keep going.
So how quickly can you get back on track?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great point. So idea number 4, because of this blank, something good will happen.
Okay, fill in the blank.
Fill in the blank. And Coach P says your attitude is a choice. You're not just reacting. You're choosing how you approach things.
Makes sense.
And when you do that, you start expecting positive outcomes.
Okay, so it's about taking ownership.
Exactly. And this is so important, especially in competitive fields.
Yeah.
Instead of just reacting to what's happening around you,
Yeah.
you're actively choosing a perspective that helps you get those good results.
So challenges become opportunities.
Exactly. And just by filling in that blank, because of this, my effort, my preparation, my positive attitude, something good will happen.
It reinforces that control.
Yeah, and it builds optimism.
Okay, so idea number 5. The best team doesn't always win. It's the team that plays the best that wins. The fastest horse doesn't always win. It's the horse that races the fastest on that given day that wins.
Right, so past performance doesn't guarantee future results.
It's all about execution in the moment.
Yeah, and I think this is a powerful reminder for high performers.
Okay.
Your past wins, none of that matters if you don't perform now. It's about maximizing your potential in every single moment. All right, idea number 6, and Coach P is very direct here. You need a coach. He even mentions his website, coachp.net, as a resource. But beyond that, he makes this point that all Olympic athletes have a coach.
That's a good point.
So it shows that even at the highest levels, guidance is essential.
And I think what's great about having a coach is they can give you that outside perspective. They can challenge those assumptions you might have.
They can see your blind spots.
Exactly. And they can push you beyond what you think you're capable of.
Right. So what areas in your life could benefit from that?
That's the question.
Okay, idea number 7. A few seconds in your mile time when running a marathon is the difference between beating the Kenyans or racing next to some guy named Ken.
So those small improvements can make a big difference.
It's about those marginal gains.
And I think this is so important for high performers because we often focus on the big picture. But those tiny improvements, they add up.
They can make you a champion.
Exactly. So think about your field. Where could even a small improvement give you a big advantage?
Okay, idea number 8, if you don't ask the answer, is always no. Coach P encourages us to check out his resources, but he also asks, are you really doing everything you can to be the best competitor you can be?
So take initiative.
Yeah, and don't let opportunities pass you by.
Don't be afraid to ask.
Whether it's feedback new ventures or just expressing your needs.
Put yourself out there.
You got it. So what have you been hesitant to go after just because you haven't asked?
Good question.
Okay, idea number 9, the 15-minute magic rule. It's the start that stops most people. If you were to get started on something new for just 15 minutes, what would you do?
So this is about beating procrastination.
Yes, and that initial hurdle of starting something new.
15 minutes, that's all it takes.
And often once you start, you keep going.
Right. The momentum builds.
So what's that one thing you've been putting off?
What's that first step you can take in the next 15 minutes?
Idea number 10, you're not lacking the ability. You're blocking your ability.
Interesting.
We all have the ability, we just need to remove those obstacles.
So it's not about lacking talent.
It's about unlocking what's already there.
And I think this is so empowering for high performers.
Right.
Because it challenges that belief that you're not good enough. Your potential is inside you.
You just have to figure out what's blocking it.
Whether it's your mindset, your habits, your environment.
Okay, so how do you unblock it?
That's the key.
Idea number 11 gives us a formula: A plus S plus GYOA equals our ability plus strategy plus get off your anatomy equals results.
Well, I like that formula. So talent alone isn't enough.
You need a plan and you need to take action.
And that strategy piece is crucial.
Especially for mental performance.
Yeah, it's how you turn that ability into results.
Okay. Idea number 12, you have to keep the main thing. The main thing. Keep the important thing the important thing.
So focus on what matters most.
And Coach P warns us about making everything feel urgent.
Right, because then nothing is truly important.
So he asks, what's your main thing?
And I think that's such a critical question for high performers today.
With all the distractions and demands?
Yeah, you have to be ruthless with your priorities.
What are your non-negotiables?
And what can you delegate or eliminate?
Okay, idea number 13, knowledge minus action gets you nothing.
So it's not enough to just know things.
Coach P uses the example of reading.
You can know how to read, but if you never pick up a book, you're not actually benefiting from that knowledge.
So what knowledge have you been holding on to?
What can you put into practice today?
Okay, idea number 14, E plus R equals O, event, plus your response equals the perceived outcome.
So it's not just about what happens to you.
It's about how you react.
And Coach Padalecki talks about above the line and below the line responses.
Right above the line being positive, proactive.
Below the line being reactive, negative.
And your response shapes how you see the outcome.
So as a high performer, you're going to face setbacks, challenges, it's pressure. But how you respond to those events will determine your success.
Would you learn from them?
Will you adapt?
Will you achieve your goals?
So think about a recent challenge. How did you react?
Could you have responded differently?
What would an above-the-line response have looked like?
Okay, last but not least, idea number 15. Your life, your happiness could depend on a lot of things, but most of all, it depends on you.
So take ownership.
Coach Padalecki warns against comparing yourself to others, especially on social media.
Yeah, don't get caught up in someone else's highlight reel.
He stresses the importance of taking action now.
Don't wait for the perfect moment. So what's one thing you can do today to move closer to your goals?
So there you have it, Coach Ed Padalecki's 15 ideas that will change your life.
Powerful stuff.
And for you guys, the message is clear. You have the power to achieve amazing things.
It starts with understanding your why.
Acting despite your feelings.
Keeping your commitments.
Choosing a positive mindset,
Focusing on execution,
seeking guidance,
pursuing those marginal gains,
taking initiative,
beating procrastination,
unlocking your potential,
building strategies,
prioritizing your goals,
putting knowledge into action,
controlling your responses.
and owning your life and happiness.
And what's really great is these ideas, they all work together.
It's a whole philosophy for achieving excellence.
Exactly. And as Coach P says, it's not just about knowing these ideas.
It's about living them.
So to wrap up, Coach P leaves us with this. If you can take any of these 15 ideas and put them into action now, because if you are waiting for the right time, it'll never happen, so what are you going to do? The most important thing is to get started.
So which idea resonated with you the most?
What challenge are you facing right now?
How can you apply these insights?
You guys have the drive, the ambition, and now you have these tools to go out there and make it happen.
Good luck.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Take care.